Yet again, I'm having another interesting tuning download type of thing, and it had to do with the maternal aspects of what we're here to balance out, mother and father, paternal, maternal, and the way the lineage works. Because, I mean, DNA-wise, they say only the strongest survive. Okay, that's one of the laws of nature. Only the strongest survive. Okay. And I was flowing in my day, and I keep being reminded of the Marsh Five. And then, and I was, that's my mom's, always been one of her it was very important to her, Marsh 5. She had it put on her license plate, and it just, one of her core things that she focused on, Marsh 5. Because she's a Libra, mind over matter. And I was reminded of, right now they're talking about like a battle between the paternal and maternal imbalances in people, how that got out of whack, and the finger pointing of the faults and the greed and whatever, to where we're not all seeking for everyone to thrive, and unhealthy self-sabotaging tendencies that have been going on because of the guilt of allowing ourselves to be made fools of and taken advantage of by an unhealthy government system, modality of operation of other people, because we're trying to co-create, but we're co-creating with ones that are out of balance, and we need to be more solution focused and resolution focused. And I was reminded of the maternal things and the differences. They say that, I mean, seriously, there is an absolute, even though we all started out as a zygote, in the evolution of going from the egg into a human fetus baby who had the ability to, okay, so until my body and my babies were ready to activate into becoming a human baby, which required their father's sperm to be introduced. When his sperm was introduced into my system, sperm is a living thing. It is. It is a living thing. And when it's ejaculated into the female, and the egg, there's a scientific study that shows that the egg determines, it's not the fastest, strongest, best sperm that gets there. The egg decides what fertilizes it. Like attracts like. That egg decided. So, in essence, there was something within me that would not settle. I love Pat Blizzard, y'all. My first love. He was an amazing, amazing first love. He really was. He treated me with honor and dignity and care. And I trusted him because of who he was. He was a Virgo, which is the exact opposite spectrum of Pisces. So the Virgos that I have met in my life have been a beautiful counterbalance to my inner nature in beautiful ways. I've only seen healthy reflections of Virgos in my life thus far. Do they have bad sides? Absolutely. Like with my granddad Marsh, I can't tell you, I don't know anything about his first wife or his biological children, because he didn't talk about those things. I couldn't tell you much about my grandmother Blanche Marsh that raised my daddy, except for what I heard from other people, because Granddad Marsh didn't talk about those things. I just know he never dated or was interested in another female after she passed, because I guess he loved her that much. I don't know. But I know that he was one of the most... I knew his phone number by heart, and I was welcome to call him at any time, and you better believe I did. And we would just shoot the breeze about what we've been doing, and nothing really. I was thinking about you. Love you, miss you. But in those moments of connecting, I felt at peace. And then it was like he was just a beautiful, energetic touchstone that I could connect to through the phone. And Mom and Dad never stopped me from ever calling. Matter of fact, that was one of the things that I got to give Mom credit for, is my 13th birthday. No, I never had a birthday party. Not ever. I mean, Bud kind of sort of did for my 18th, but it was kind of like just one of those, an excuse to party. It wasn't really a birthday party. Anyway, but it was, so, because, anyway. But she got me a cake, and she made an effort, but it wasn't a party. It was just, I love you, we're busy, and the boys, Chris was racing, and Scott was at the time, he was in football, I don't remember. And Dad, I think Dad was TDY that time. Might have been one of the times he was in Okinawa. Anyway, can't remember. But I got a big, gorgeous Holly Hobby cake. No, that was, Holly Hobby cake. And I got a phone. She had a phone installed in my room. And so, because, well, it was convenient because I had two very good-looking popular brothers, a Taurus and a Leo. Very popular, very good-looking, and very unusual, interesting characters. I mean, they just really were cool vibes. And the girls dug it because my brother Chris races. He still races. And my brother Scott was just, he never met a stranger. Hey, Leo, never met a stranger. And pretty quick to put people at ease. And so, and it was a good quality him and Mom both have, is they never met a stranger, it seemed like. And I really wish I was more like that, but they were just so comfortable. Anyway, reel it back in. What was that? March 5. And but Mom's was March 5. Anyway, and the differences in, I was talking about the first love and the Virgo and counterbalances and energies, energetic plays and things like that. March 5. That was Mom's thing. Mine is 3. To represent what you focus in, focal points and things like that. How is a thing important to you? How is it hitting your spidey senses? Well, for me, 3 is always representative of me, my daughter, and my son, because those are the steadfast of my life. No matter who comes and goes, that's unchangeable, that's unshakable. And through them, because of me and their father, I have my beautiful 5 grandbabies who are also a part of other families, genetically, paternal and maternal. And yet all of my grandbabies come from my Marsh 5, which are the ones that maternally carried my grandchildren, my daughter, my son, and me. So the 3, and then the other 2 that are a part of my 5, because when they took within them my son's seed, he became a part of them. And my way of thinking is that egg was purely them until they took within them my son's seed. And now his DNA is a part of their genetic makeup from that point on, no matter what comes after. So, and when you sleep with someone else and they become a part of your essence, if you do not genetically make a child with them, they just become a part of your essence. Well, you process that, and it's like your body takes it in kind of like a antibiotic. And it reads the DNA, adapt, adjust, and overcome all that. Like an antibiotic. But when you genetically make a child with that person, they say that if you have something wrong internally, that as your fetus is growing and you are connected through the umbilical cord and exchanging as the creation, as Father God is, and that baby is growing within you, that miracle of life is happening, that child growing within you, anything unhealed within that needs adapting, adjusting, and overcoming, is healing and regenerating that organ within you. So, and that happened with my daughter. And their father and the Alls houses are brilliant, wonderful people. I am absolutely honored. Their good qualities, that honestly, their good qualities far outweigh their bad. Beautiful, amazing, creative, wonderful people that truly are always seeking to be Christ-like. Go and sin no more. And that was beautiful. They were part of the Worldwide Church of God, which I never understood. And it's kind of like the way Jehovah's Witness believe. No, you don't go along with the calendar, the way Julius Caesar and them changed No, they tried to go back to the original in the Bible, and they studied the words and language, and so I don't know the exact differences between the Jehovah's Witnesses. I just know that I just loved what I learned from being around them and their different perspectives and points of view, and the fact that my children are a part of them. And then with my son, when I became pregnant yet again by their father, and all the times in between that my body absorbed but didn't produce a baby, I'm still absorbing more. And then with my son, well, he became a part of me and his father in a separate way, that as his sister was being created, he as an egg was witnessing all of her stuff and feeling it energetically, because, mind you, he's tuned into my body and a part of me during her great becoming. But when Bud's sperm implanted him into activating into himself fully, he was still a part of me, and yet his sister was already born, and he's experienced her on the outside while he's still within me developing. And there's something significant about that. And then the other, because like I said, now mind you, I'm still in a modality of, for me, the significance of 5. And the flow of it, the beautiful flow, and correlations that make sense to me that I don't know will anybody else. But that's me, my daughter, my son, and then from him, the 2 females he impregnated also now become a part of my Marsh 5, because when his seed went within them, he became part of mine's, but that's all at the time. It was, but that I am a Marsh. I was born Marsh, and that is who I am. No matter who I marry, I am my mother and father's daughter, first and foremost. And then when I become a wife, that doesn't change my genetic DNA markers. Or does it? But anyway, when I was thinking, that's note to self, boop boop, 1723, I need to, Anyway, but when my daughter had her children, they are automatically direct linked to me, because, well, they're hers, and I have 3 of those. And then my 2 from my son were from 2 different mothers. So when they grew my grandsons from my son beneath their heart, that automatically tied them direct link to me that way, genetically, because they are carrying within them a part of me through my son. Yes. And so, anyway, all right, so that's the way this flow is going for now, and I just needed to make sure that I notated that, because there's something about the maternal thing and the healing of the lineage, something, because it's something about the genetic dominance or something, because it's like the hair thing. If your father was not bald, if your father had a full head of hair, and you, like my dad, and you're female, your children will be less likely, because your father wasn't bald, then they will be less likely to be bald. So, unfortunately for me, on my mom's side, my granddad kind of had thin hair, so. But then again, I've had oral radiation, so I'm blessed to have any, and I'm not complaining. So, but anyway, yeah, genetics, and only the strongest survive. What wolves are you feeding? Anyway, That's how this is today's flow, and I don't know why, but it all makes sense. I'm sure I'll be circled back to it. I love you. I hope you're loving you and having wonderful revelations and tuning in and loving yourself to healing, babies. It starts with you always.